Jerome Seinfeld was born on April 29, 1954, in Brooklyn, New York. Seinfeld's interest in comedy was sparked at an early age through the influence of his father, a sign maker who was also a closet comedian. By age 8, Seinfeld was putting himself through rigorous comic training, watching television day and night to study the techniques of comedians. Over the years, he developed a unique style of comedy that centered on his wry observations on life's mundanities. Seinfeld studied communications and theater at Queens College, City University of New York, and shortly after graduation in 1976 he made his stand-up debut at an open mic night in the Catch a Rising Star nightclub. He worked his way up to an appearance on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1981, which gave Seinfeld his first national exposure. By the late 1980s, he was one of the highest-profile stand-up comedians in the United States. After starring in the television special Jerry Seinfeld Stand-Up Confidential, 1987, Seinfeld was asked to develop a sitcom with NBC. He teamed up with friend and fellow comedian Larry David to create Seinfeld, which hit the air in 1989. Produced and sometimes co-written by Seinfeld, the quirky, widely watched show emphasized loosely structured stories, seemingly insignificant subject matter, and a buddy system of comedy in which the Jerry character often played a straight man to his three tightly wound screwball friends, Elaine Benes, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, George Costanza, Jason Alexander, and Cosmo Kramer, Michael Richards. The sitcom reached unprecedented levels of popularity and critical acclaim, and many of its catchphrases and plot elements became part of the cultural lexicon. The show and Seinfeld were nominated for multiple Emmy Awards, and in 1993, it claimed the Outstanding Comedy Series prize. The next year, the comedian took home 2 Golden Globe Awards for Best Musical/Comedy Series and Best Television Actor in a Musical/Comedy Series. Seinfeld ran for 9 seasons and was the highest-rated show in the United States when its final episode aired in 1998. Seinfeld returned to stand-up comedy in the late 1990s, embarking on multiple national tours of comedy clubs and theaters, one of which was documented in the 2002 film Comedian. Additionally, he co-wrote, co-produced and starred in the animated B-movie, 2007. Seinfeld has written a handful of books, including Sane Language, 1993, a best-selling book of humorous observations, the children's book Halloween, 2003, and Is This Anything? 2020, another bestseller featuring material from his decades-long career. In 2010, Seinfeld made a return to television with The Marriage Ref. This reality show featured a panel of comedians who were asked to weigh in on the real-life conflicts and squabbles of different couples. It was cancelled after 1 season. Seinfeld fared much better with his Emmy-nominated interview show, Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee, which ran for 11 seasons from 2012 to 2019. Over the years, he talked with such comedy stars as Chris Rock, Tina Fey, Eddie Murphy, and Amy Schumer. In a 2015 episode, Seinfeld veered from his usual funny guests with an episode featuring President Barack Obama. Netflix acquired the show in 2017 and aired the final 2 seasons before Seinfeld hung up his keys for good. The series' success wasn't without some controversy. In early 2018, TMZ reported that a producer named Christian Charles had filed a lawsuit alleging that Seinfeld stole the idea for Comedians in Cars from him. According to the lawsuit, Charles pitched the idea to Seinfeld as far back as 2002 and even directed a pilot episode but was cut out after demanding ownership interest. Seinfeld's attorney filed a motion to dismiss the suit in June 2018, his court brief asserting that the idea of the show was too broad to justify the lawsuit and that Charles only sued after learning how much Seinfeld was getting paid per episode. In September 2019, a Manhattan district judge ruled in favor of Seinfeld on the grounds that the statute of limitations for Charles's legal claim to ownership of the Comedians in Cars concept had expired. As part of Netflix's deal to acquire Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee that was reportedly worth $100 million, Seinfeld also agreed to 2 new comedy specials. September 2017 brought the Netflix special Jerry Before Seinfeld, which showed the comedy icon revisiting some of his early jokes at Manhattan's comic strip club, where he honed his routine in the 1970s, along with offstage reflections and little-seen footage of his childhood. On May 5, 2020, Netflix aired Seinfeld's first stand-up special of original material in 22 years with 23 Hours to Kill. Along with featuring his riffs on marriage and the irritating habits of friends, the special showed the senior citizen-aged comedian jumping from a helicopter into the Hudson River. It earned him another Emmy nod for Outstanding Pre-Recorded Variety Special. Before we go any further, let me just say that you are at the proper place if you enjoy documentaries and biographies. As for your subscription, it is up to how satisfied you are with our content. Your like for the video contributes to disseminating it to a larger number of people. I'm grateful. As of May 2023, Seinfeld has an estimated net worth of $950 million. Until 2016, he repeatedly topped Forbes' list of the highest-paid comedians. By the end of Seinfeld, the comedian was the first actor to earn $1 million per episode, and in the years since, he has raked in millions in residual income from syndication and streaming rights as the show's co-creator. Since 1995, Seinfeld had earned $400 million from syndication deals, CNBC reported in 2015. That year, Hulu inked a 6-year deal worth at least $130 million to exclusively stream the series. Netflix then took over exclusively streaming rights in 2021 after reportedly paying more than $500 million for a 5-year period. Seinfeld married public relations executive Jessica Seinfeld, née Sklar, on December 25, 1999. The couple had met at gym the previous year, as her first marriage was crumbling. Today, Jessica is a cookbook author and founder of the anti-poverty nonprofit Good Plus Foundation, formerly Baby Buggy. The Seinfelds have 3 children, daughter Sasha, and sons Julian and Shepard. A well-known gearhead, Seinfeld said his first car was a 1973 Fiat 128 Sport L. He is particularly fond of Porsches and has amassed quite the classic car collection over the years. He keeps specifics close to his chest, so it's not clear how many he currently owns or all the models. However, he has enough that he purchased a New York City brownstone in 1999 and converted it into a 3-floor garage. Some of his cars were featured on episodes of Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. In 2016, he sold 15 Porsches from his collection at auction for a total of $22 million. His 1955 Porsche 550 Spider, the same model James Dean was driving when he was killed, netted the sale's highest price tag at $5,335,000. A few years later, the buyer of Seinfeld's 1958 Porsche 356 A1500 GS/GT Carrera Speedster sued the comedian, claiming that the car wasn't authentic. Seinfeld subsequently sued the classic car dealer he purchased the Porsche from, and both lawsuits were settled in June 2022. One of Seinfeld's most recent acquisitions is a highly customized 1999 Porsche 911 Classic Club Coupe, which he bought for $1.2 million in June 2023. And the best quotes he said. "I was the best man at the wedding. If I'm the best man, why is she marrying him? I've never bought a car as an investment. I don't really even think of myself as a collector. I just love cars."